This is Mark Larson. I'm a principal here at Baskerville. I've been working with Better Housing Coalition since about 1995 with projects like Claiborne Square in Petersburg, Beckstoffer Mill in Churchill, and this project, Winchester Greens in Chesterfield County.
So a little bit about the organization. Next year we celebrate our 25th anniversary. And in that time, the organization has created about 1,500 apartments around the region. These units had, long units, only one entrance. No one had ownership for most of the building, and it wasn't mine, it was somebody else's. And once you went in, it was one way in the building, but it was nasty and it was dangerous.
Again, putting the people, instead of in their units locked up at nighttime, create porches, sidewalks, parks, places for the community to come together. Kind of create places for gathering so the residents get to know each other. The porches, they sit on the porches and kind of help get to know each other, talk to people, go down the sidewalk, and eyes on the street.
Everybody wanted their own individual entryway, so you had ownership, whether you were a renter or not. If there was a piece of trash in front of your apartment, or you knew that, and you could take pride in picking that up. We sold a house to a couple that was 65 years old, and they were first-time home buyers. They had lived in apartments all of their lives. They raised their kids were good. And when we interviewed them, because they're going to be in our new annual report, they said that where they could afford before was horrible, but it was what they could afford. But they just happened to be riding by the Blackwell sites or homes for sale, and they made a call, and the next thing you know, a couple of months later, they were homeowners. And the wife said that this is her dream home, and she's never moving from here, and they're happy, and it's a good thing. So, when you can change someone's life like that, that's a pretty cool opportunity, and we come to work pretty happy most of the time. Our hope one day in the 17 acres that are behind you is to develop 105 for-sale housing. We have the plans. We just updated the infrastructure plans with Timmons.
Some of this you just have to walk around to really experience. Any unit, you can walk no more than really a block and a half to get to one of these. So they're scattered kind of strategically in the planning so that they're close, so that they get used. You kind of see some of the range of architectural styles. We wanted the brick because it felt permanent, it felt strong and sturdy. As Greta said, the wood detailing is sort of indicative of what you see around Richmond.
We haven't had an incident that was violent in almost 3 months or so, I'm sure, because we get a report from Chesterfield County, and most of the calls are just like, hey, my cat's gone, can you help me find my cat? Or something like, hey, I locked my keys out. We have a lot of lockouts. People tend to lock the keys out of their house, so, very nonviolent calls versus what it used to be, Park Lee, where they talk about, hey, I'm afraid for my life.
We paid attention, Better Housing Coalition, everybody paid attention to the details about where the trees went, the actual fact that there's some, like a little raised curb on some of them that separates the private space from a public space. That really, little details like that matter because they have a sense of ownership. When that little move happens, all of a sudden it takes it from public space to it's my space, I take care of it. So those kind of things, little details matter.
This is Market Square 3, which is senior housing, both the 3-story mid-rise, and then these are cottages. And I'll tell you that the cottages, there's a waiting list to get in there. Everybody wants their own little place with their own entrance there. If we could make them, could build them more affordably, we do more senior housing like that.
One of the things about those little one-story units here, we pressed them up as close as we could to the street so they felt a little more urban. It kind of continues this avenue, this boulevard coming in. Whereas if you put them all in the big building that tended to want to be in the back area there for service and other reasons, with the parking, it would have a much more kind of open, kind of suburban feel. And we just really wanted to maintain those lines. That one-story scale keeps it comfortable for walking, but it's close enough to where it kind of encloses the street, finishes the street off.